Hi, my name is Maritza Mejia. I'm a family nurse practitioner and founder of Long Island Beauty Bar Aesthetics on New York, Long Island. And I'm also a faculty member from Empire Medical Training. Today, we are talking about layering a treatment plan and how you have to be careful when you do different combination treatments. In this case, we are talking about injectables, microneedlings, and pills and how you treat them over time. Layer the plan. Why? You need to prioritize the endpoint. In this case, especially if you're doing any injections like Toxin, you cannot combine this with a microneedling after, right? Because after we do Toxin, we usually don't touch those areas to avoid any complications. Also, if you are doing a microneedling and you decide to do a pill, you have to make sure that the patient has enough time to recover and measure in phase. How? You take pictures, you palpate the skin, right? So that way you measure how he's gradually improving. Different tools works in a different tissue level, right? Injectables add a structure and restore volume. Usually, especially like hyaluronic acid is placed into fat pads. Microneedling control micro-injury, which one supports collagen, remodeling the results and build gradually. Peels exfoliate the skin, and it's great for pigment, in tone, and surface texture, and even for pores. The full layer plan process. Diagnose skin quality versus volume. Prioritize. Rank the dominant endpoint. Sequence. How often do we have to deliver the next treatment plan? Treat, conservative, and always document. Recover, right? What do you have to do during recovery time? You need downtime. Talk to your patients, especially when you do pills. I always tell my patients, you're gonna need to have a little downtime, day 3 or 4, especially if you work in the office, right? Plan ahead so you don't have to be like hiding from the whole world. And reassess with pictures. That's what pictures are so important. Take side by side and show the client how the skin is improving. Injectables, microneedlings, pills, how you provide the services over time, or you do combination treatments. Especially the first week when you treat the patient with filler, Botox, right? I usually have them at least wait 2 to 3 weeks for the swelling to go down. Then we bring them back between 2 to 4 weeks apart, and we can provide a microneedling. When you do a microneedling, I always explain my clients, you're gonna look like a little bit more like a sunburn. So usually for 24 hours, okay? So try to stay away from the sun, avoid exercise, avoid swimming, and no hats. Why? Because remember, we are doing microchanneling, so we don't want any infection. Then within 10 to 12 weeks, we reassess. You can actually repeat, or you can do a different treatment, right? Especially some patients, they usually, it depends. Toxin is usually lasts up to 3 months, right? Some patients, they are very like to follow the routine. 3 months, I need my next toxin. But if you don't need your next toxin and your forehead's fine, or you want to do another microneedling, so we can do another microneedling, or if the patient needs a peel because we need to work more into the pigment or the skin texture, then we do another microneedling. So you reassess and see what type of treatment your patient needs next. In this case, how I will do my consultation with this patient. Definitely, I will do her toxins today. Remember, muscle is movement, right? So I need to start that movement. Then we bring it back in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, we can do a little microneedling to work into the skin quality. Why? She already had those deep lines. Remember, Toxin works with the dynamic lines, but it doesn't work with the static lines. Static lines are very deep. That's when we need to work with a different procedure, which one it will be, either microneedling or a peel. Why a peel? Because I see some pigmentation in some of the areas. So in this case, I would do maybe a peel, then have her come back in 2 to 4 weeks and then do a microneedling. I feel like once you work into a different layers, patients love the results and they trust the process because remember, it's not one treatment fits all. Assess your patient so that way you can deliver the right treatment to your patient. Choose the layer, but the end point, not the habit, right? In this case, what are we doing here? Injectables first. As we remember, injectables, what it is. If we do hyaluronic acid, it's volume, filler, right? So it helps you support the fat pads. Evidence-based approved fillers that have specific indications for some areas. So it's very important to select the right product to inject in the right plane and know when you have to use cannula versus needle. Knowing the G prime and the thickness of the filler is a must. Why? Thick filler goes into the deep fat pad, the one that is attached on bone. It doesn't move and it gives you volume. Soft fillers or low G prime, it's more for the superficial fat pads. It helps for fine lines and also for the areas that you move so that way it doesn't create filler migration. It just helps you hydrate the area. Microneedling. Microneedling is a great treatment for texture, pores, and scars, and also for the skin quality. Evidence-based shows that it helps with collagen induction and also improves scar texture and tone. Knowing the depth, how many passes are we doing, and what else are we adding into it, especially now that we have exosomes and all the peptides, that give you a little extra boost. Peels are great for tone, pigment, and surface of the skin. Evidence-based shows that peel depth affects downtime and also the aftercare. Plan the session so recovery is predictable. It's very important to know the dose. Start conservative and build based on response. Second, distribution. Broad event coverage beats isolated hero spots. Third, barrier. Do not peel or needle, inflame or recentral irritation skin. You have to be very careful when you start those treatments. Number 4, documentation. Same lightning, angles, and skin status and aftercare notes are very important to document any skin changes. For any of the combination therapies, results appear in layers, so aftercare must be layered too. From 0 to 7 days, it's completely normal. The patient may experience a little swelling and bruising. Redness and peeling may be also noticed. From 2 to 6 weeks, skin quality changes become easier to assess because the inflammation is going down. From 3 to 4 months, usually collagen remodeling, that's when it becomes more meaningful. And after 6 months, maintenance planning depends on the product or the service the patient was provided. And it's very important to remember draw. What is draw? Layer before you treat. D for diagnose, volume, skin quality, pigmentation, texture, or laxity. R, rank, dominant endpoint and patient tolerance. A, allow recovery, barrier first sequencing with realistic downtime. And W, watch, photos, palpation, symptoms, and next step.